Can you handle the terrifying wonders in store for you? Join us as we look at the mysteries surrounding this African country. The Congo Basin, second in size only to the mighty Amazon, isn't a terrain for the faint-hearted. It holds 12.5% of the world's remaining tropical rainforest, containing the greatest number of mammals, primates, birds, amphibians, and fish in Africa. The wildlife is lush, there's no doubt about that. But have you heard about a certain massive creature in these waters? While the search for Scotland's Loch Ness Monster is world famous, there's another sea monster that isn't as well known. In the vast wilderness of Congo-Brazzaville, a mysterious and elusive creature is said to dwell. But how strong is the evidence that such a monster really exists? One of the most exciting and terrifying ideas is how dinosaurs might still be living in the remote jungles of the world. Such is the story of the Mokele-mbembe that's captivated the imaginations of scientists and cryptozoology enthusiasts alike. Nestled deep within the dense and unexplored rainforests of the Congo Basin, Mokele-mbembe is said to be reminiscent of the long-extinct sauropod dinosaurs that once roamed the earth. This beast has terrified the minds of locals and foreigners alike. Its name roughly translates to the one who stops the flow of rivers, which should tell you all about the threat it brings. The one area today that would allow these prehistoric creatures to be able to survive would be the large and unexplored swamps of equatorial Africa. Fossil evidence shows dinosaurs ruled Earth for 230 million years, but all at once they lost their dominance. The species was wiped out all at once, but are all of them gone? Reports of the Mokele-mbembe aren't anything new, since even in 1776, a group of French missionaries had found the tracks of an enormous unknown animal in the jungle. The massive clawed prints, too big for conventional creatures, resembled those of an elephant. But here's the kicker: elephants don't have clawed toes. This sparked major scientific curiosity and raised questions about the existence of an unknown cryptic creature. Expeditions were launched to uncover the truth behind these puzzling footprints. So what kind of monster was it? Since then, many eyewitnesses have described the terrifying creature, and it's not pretty. Imagine being knee-deep in the Congolese swamps, and you come across a 15 to 30 feet long animal with a snake-like head. It's described as having a long, thin tail and a body comparable in size to that of an elephant or a hippopotamus. The legs are short, but the hind legs have 3 sharp claws. In the remote wilderness, the reddish-brown creatures were found, boasting a rooster-like frill from head to neck. Sounds impossible? Well, you might want to hold that thought. Without a shred of doubt, the eyewitness agreed on one thing. The elusive Mokele-mbembes were believed to inhabit rivers, streams, and swampy lakes. These waterways served as their preferred dwelling grounds, adding to the mystery behind them. But something they all said: these creatures were rare and dangerous. In the 1980s, Dr. Roy McCall took charge of not just one, but 2 daring expedition teams. Their destination: the sprawling and enigmatic Likawala swamp and rainforest region of the Congo. This remote and densely forested area was not only a land of untamed wilderness, but also home to the indigenous pygmy communities. The retired biologist from the University of Chicago was on the hunt for this mystery creature, and he wasn't going to rest until he saw Africa's version of the Loch Ness Monster. With an area so vast, it was bound to be unexplored. And that's exactly what he saw when he picked up the map. It was white. There wasn't even enough data to figure out the terrain, and that's how we knew there was something worth being explored here. With its rich habitat and hidden secrets, it feels like an area that survived the prehistoric period. While the Mokele-mbembe is reputed to be a herbivore, but let's get more into that later. This obviously brings up one observation. Many Western explorers have wanted to discover this elusive creature, but it still escaped the lens of science. Over the years, the region has beckoned explorers with its allure, starting over 50 expeditions to seek answers. Yet, despite the many efforts, scientific evidence remains unreachable except for one anomaly. In 1776, a French missionary made a remarkable discovery: a large claw-shaped footprint etched into the terrain. Since then, several others have reported similar sightings, adding layers of mystery to the unexplored wilderness. The only photographic images have been fuzzy, so to many they prove nothing. But if you ask locals, the story's very different. In an interview with BBC, one local claimed to have a near-death experience coming face-to-face with the sea monster. "I was in a boat on the river when I saw Mokele-mbembe. He began to chase us. Mokele Mbembe rose out of the water. We ran. Paul Olin, a dedicated community development worker, devoted over a decade of his life to immersing himself in the vibrant cultures of the Bayaka people in both Congo and the Central African Republic. His unwavering commitment to the communities he served earned him deep respect and trust among the Bayaka. Someone who lived with the locals paints a simple picture for outsiders. The native people have no doubt that the creature exists, whether it's been caught on camera or not. The Mokele Mbembe isn't some legend for these people. It's a normal topic of conversation, since it's a daily reality for them. What's more, Olin highlighted their profound spiritual connection and mystical relationship with it. So the way these locals see the creature is different from how everyday folks like us would see it. So despite the absence of concrete scientific evidence, the eyewitness reports from both the local communities and the explorers who have ventured into the heart of the Congo cannot be dismissed lightly. Because for them, the fear is very real. Even though many of the inhabitants of the Likwala region know exactly where the animal can be seen and filmed, they choose not to reveal it. Let's look at another man who went on a search for this formidable animal. Adam Davies spent his spare time and money traveling the world in search of undocumented species, looking for Congo's very own monster. Davies knows that some mythology surrounds the Mokele Mbembe, but he doesn't think that necessarily disproves the existence of it. When natives are asked if it's real, they don't react kindly. After all, tribal accounts shouldn't be taken lightly. And Davies is right. The field of cryptozoology isn't new. It's the search for large, unproven species. And contrary to what you might believe, the results aren't always unsuccessful. It branches out of mainstream science. But those who believe Mokele Mbembe exists point out that some animals once dismissed by science turned out to be real. Exactly what people say about the Mokele Mbembe. Scientists are still discovering new species all the time, and the Likwala region in the northeast of Congo-Brazzaville is the kind of place that it's easy to imagine containing hidden mysteries. According to Congolese government officials, a staggering 80% of its vast 66,000 square kilometers remains uncharted and largely unexplored. This vast territory comprises dense, often flooded forests. So Davies knows that a rare animal living in such a massive remote area isn't impossible. With more time and resources, a Mokele Mbembe might eventually be tracked down. But we have to ask ourselves, could we really handle a dinosaur-like creature being discovered?